from the poll because of all things you alluded to, he still took part in the elections. And as required by law, the returning officer was also supposed to be an independent returning officer, to be fair, to be transparent, and to run an election with integrity. So under those three principles, I was asked to go into the strong room to defend his interest to the best of my ability.
At IPAC, it was decided that each political party or each candidate will have at least 4 accreditations, with 2 in the strong room at every point in time. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Good. So it means that at the time that you were leaving to the petitioner's residence, you had 2 backup people who could represent the petitioner in the room. Not so?
My lords, let me put it on record that on the 9th, no strong room activity was ongoing, and at the time that I went to see the electoral commissioner, we have 4 regions that had not been dealt with. We also had a situation where the commissioner herself, performing her functions as the returning officer, directed the 2 of us to go and send a message to the petitioner. So long as he left, the functions of the representatives could not continue, because the other 2 would not have the same appreciation of the specific issues that we were dealing with. It's not like a relay where you just hand over a baton. You must deal with the specific issues.
So you agree with me?
And she was minded by that. She knew that we were not in the strong room. She knew that she had directed us to leave, and she told us that she would give us a police escort to bring us back in time if we had traffic challenges. She knew.
You see, I am asking you again that at the time that you left, you had the opportunity to have 2 other people represent you in the strong room. Yes or no?
And I've answered you as follows. That in as much as we had 2 opportunities to replace the representatives, the specific issue for which he left the strong room were such that any other 2 people would not have the same appreciation of the issues, and therefore they could not continue to perform the functions as representatives of the petitioner in the strong room.
Now,
and that is the fact.
So you are saying that in spite of the fact that it was agreed that you could replace, you in leaving decided not to be replaced. That is the case, not so?
That is not the case. In the case of the MPP, you have Ameno, John Boedu, and so many other people in the strong room, even though 2 people were supposed to have been only in the strong room at the time. Why is it that they were permitted to be in the room? Why were they permitted to be in the room?
Your answer reminds me of the parable. Anyway, my lords, I leave it. Now, in your evidence in chief, you stated that you had been at the EC headquarters for 3 days and somebody brought you change of clothing, not so? The shirt.
That is correct.
Now, in the same witness statement, you said that when I arrived on the 9th, he said so, that when I arrived on the 9th, let me just go through.
Which specific item are you dealing with?
Yes. The first paragraph I referred to was paragraph 26. The second one, paragraph 22. Paragraph
22.
Yes.
Yeah.
You said the beginning says that it was in the light of the experiences of different regional certification processes and the posture of the EC officials in the strong room on the 9th that on behalf of my colleagues and myself I sought to consult with the EC. I also needed to receive feedback on the conveys the previously, particularly that learned from the officials, particularly as I had learned from officials at the NDC headquarters before I got to the EC headquarters on the 9th. So you see that.
Yes, I've seen that.
Good. The two conflicting portions of your witness statement. Can you clarify the court? Where were you coming from? On the 9th. Where were you coming from?
In the early hours of the 9th, I was sacked from the EC strong room. And I had to drive from Accra all the way to Community 25, where I reside. This was around 2 a.m. of the 9th. I then had to wake up very early and go through another 2 hours of traffic on that eastern corridor back to the EC office.
So, I'll leave this point. It is clear that you have not been a truthful witness, even on your own evidence in chief. I'm putting it to you that your evidence in chief is full of untruths, and if they are true, they are half-truths. I'm putting that to you.
With the greatest respect, the witness has not been shown untruths in his testimony. The witness was just given an example. One example, when I arrived on the morning, the witness explained clearly he had to drive and so on.
It's not a need making question.
No,
you always put to witness that he's not been truthful. Yes. So please let it go.
Do you recall that on the 9th as well? Please answer the question.
What is the question?
The question to you is that even in your witness statement, you have told the court untruths and half-truths. I put it to you.
That is absolutely untrue. Absolutely untrue.
Now,
I swore on oath to tell the truth, and I told the court nothing but the truth.
now do you recall that on the 9th, you granted again an interview to your favorite Kwesi Parker Wilson at the NDC headquarters?
Yes, I do recall.
Now, you recall you said
yes.
You recall you said this, among others, because I don't have the documentation in front of me, it is becoming a challenge for you to appreciate what I am saying, but create another opportunity for me and my other colleague in the EC, and we will show Ghanaians and the global community the fraud that has been perpetrated on the people of Ghana. Let me emphasize, President Nana Akufo-Addo did not win the presidential election. He did not. He did not. And I repeat emphatically, he did not. I was in the EC. I was representing the party in the EC. And I'm saying that on the face of the evidence provided, Nana Addo Dankwa did not win the election. You recall that?
Yes, and where in that statement does it show that I'm contradicting myself in terms of time?
No,
where?
I didn't ask you.
Mr. Rojo, come straight. He is asking you whether you did grant that interview. It's very simple, you recall.
Yes, the answer is I granted the interview, yes. I granted the interview.
Now, I am putting to you that even as at today that you are testifying, you have brought no such proof to the court. I'm putting it to you. My Lord, well. I am putting it to you that even as you speak, the petitioner has not brought any such proof to the court.
My lords, the petitioner is seeking very specific reliefs of the court. And the statement and interview I granted is not in evidence because the legal argument of the petitioner does not require that at this stage. It's not one of the pleadings. He is specifically asking the returning officer to declare the true result of the 2020 poll. The 2020 poll. There has been one declaration, several press conferences or press releases, and there can be only one declaration. One declaration. And so the petitioner's response for me as a witness was to show my performance and presence in the EC strong room. That is what I'm supposed to address.
Oh, we'll come to that. Mr. Robert Joseph Metonunu, you say in paragraph 31 of your witness statement that you are a veteran of the strong room since 1992, not so?
The longest serving representative of any political party.
Great. Now, is it the first time you have left your post to consult with your candidate, or you have engaged in the practice previously?
It is not the first time. It is not the first time. In my engagement with previous returning officers of the presidential poll, I had occasion to leave the strong room to go and speak to the person I was representing in the strong room. And then I returned with the understanding that I had been sent to do so. And in this particular instance, I had also been sent to do so.
Oh, so you want the court to believe that various chairpersons of the EC send you and you obey? Is that the position?
As and when it was necessary to do so. As and when, in order to resolve the issues. For example, in the election that took us to time, it was a result of the consultative process that was available to us that brought all the political parties to a meeting called by the EC chair to agree that the only way to resolve the issue of the deadlock was to have a by-election, a runoff in time.
And at all
that
times when you are living, all of you, all the representatives or the agents of the candidate in the strong room leave without any backup representation. That is what we want this country to believe, and also.
That is the case, and that is what my testimony says. That is the case.
Now, you say that you identified issues in the strong room, not so. You identified
Correct.
issues that needed resolution in the strong room, not so.
Correct.
Now, should you not, as a representative of the candidate, not be in the strong room to do the work you are assigned to do?
Can you repeat that question again?
Should you not, as a representative of the candidate in the strong room, should you not have stayed in the strong room to do the work that he assigned you to do?
My lords, in the strong room, the activities of the presidential representative is to cooperate with the EC for the declaration of the true results. And as a team leader of the group, it was my responsibility to consult Dr. Sribopak. I consulted Mr. Tete, and then I also went to consult with the commissioner. And in all those situations, the EC's offices were not in one place. I spoke to Sribopak in the strong room. I spoke to Mr. Tete in Jean Mensah's office. And I spoke to Jean Mensah in her office.
Okay, that reminds me. When you went to Jean Mensah's office to speak to the people that you are speaking about, was she the one who invited you, or you left the strong room of your own volition?
I informed Dr. Sribopak that I was going to see the commissioner. I also informed Mr. Tete that I was going to see the commissioner. I did. And then when I made a phone call to Jean Mensah, she invited me to come.
The question is, when you left the strong room to go and meet with the commissioner in her office, it was of your own volition, your own free will. Is that not so?
It was not just a simple matter of my own free will. It was a function of me being a representative of a presidential candidate. And in order to do my work properly, officially, it's not about my own free will. I was performing an official function. It's not about my own free will. I was performing an official function.
When you went, you were in that secretariat for close to 3 hours. Is that not so?
Because I was told to wait.
Answer the question.
I was
You were
told
in that secretariat for
I
close
was
to 3
told
hours.
to wait, and it is for that reason that I was shown the reception area to her office, and I kept on waiting until then. She asked me to wait for her in her office reception.
Mr. Chikat, may I have your attention? Please, can you let your witness be very, very, very specific or brief on some of these simple issues? Very, 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 very simple. I don't know where he's dragging this. He was asking a simple question.
My Lord, I do not wish to interfere with the answers of the witness.
The witness is your witness. Here to help the court to elicit information to help us arrive at the truth.
Yes, my Lord, if you take the answer that he was in the process of giving, he says you were there for 3 hours, and he says he was there.
Mr. Mengo, you go on.
Tell us how long you were there for.
I didn't hear the question.
Tell the court how long you were in the secretariat for.
Oh, it was a considerable length of time.
Yes.
Because the commissioner was not there.
And you had left the strong room, not so?
That is correct.
And even whilst there, you were offered tea and biscuits, not so?
I was offered tea. I wasn't offered any biscuits.
Order in court, please. Order, please.
I am putting it to you that on that occasion, as well as the 4 p.m. when you left the strong room, you did so on your own free will and volition.
That is not correct. It was not of my own free will.
Now, I am putting it to you that all the grievances stated in your witness statements are afterthoughts. They are afterthoughts. I am putting that to you.
That is not correct. The process of function in the strong room is a process. It's a process. And the issues that I was going to discuss with the EC Commissioner are issues arising out of the performance of my function in the strong room. How can they be afterthoughts?
I am further putting it to you. I am further putting it to you that you couch them after you heard the wobbly testimonies of the first and second witnesses of the petitioner. I'm further putting it to you.
That is not correct. I am giving a testimony of my own performance as a team member representing the flag bearer. That is not correct.
You see, your witness statement and the evidence you have given is a bad explanation for the bad job that you did for the petitioner.
You are being judgmental. That is not fact. You are being judgmental. I was performing a function, and I was supposed to protect the interest of my candidate, my presidential candidate, and I did it based on my knowledge, past experience, and a certain sense of high maturity in the strong room. If I misconducted myself, this country would be over now. You need to appreciate that. It was my mature handling, my very mature handling of the situation. And don't forget, the EC chair said that she was going to declare the results in 24 hours. She said she was going to declare the results in 24 hours. And there were so many anomalies.
Mr. Metonunu, having delivered your lecture, I want you to come back and answer my question. I'm saying that your witness statement is a bad explanation for the bad job you did for the petitioner.
And I'm saying that's not correct. You are not the chief examiner here. That is not correct.
Now, in order to hide your shortcomings, you went to the petitioner and to your party faithful and fed them untruths. I'm putting that to you.
My lords, it is your client that you are representing. It is your client that is being truthful. She is supposed to declare credible election results. She has declared multiple results. It is your client that is being untruthful to the people of Ghana, to the people of this republic.
Please listen to the question and answer. It's a very straightforward answer. Yes, he's asking you. He's putting it to you that we are not being truthful. Period.
And I said, I'm being truthful. I said, your lord, I said, I'm being truthful. And because he also presented statements with all those innuendos, and the fact that he was trying to impugn my integrity, I'm telling him that it is his client who is not being untruthful, and is not telling the people that the true result of the elections.
You recall the 2008 conduct in the strong room. You remember?
Yes, I do remember.
When you said that I am Rojo Metonunu, and that if Kwabena Japan didn't take his time, you were going to go at him one-on-one. You remember?
That is correct. And I told him that in the face because he was trying to change the results.
You see, I am putting it
He was trying to change the results.
I am putting it to you that that character of yours is what you have just displayed for the court.
I have a temperament of fairness. I have a temperament for telling the truth. I have a temperament that makes me want to fight to defend the integrity of my name.
You have a temperament known as ungovernable character. My Lord, that will be all.
My Lord, do I have the right to respond?
Yes, my lord.
Any cross-examination?
Definitely, my lords. Mr.
We will let you. We can take about an hour and a half, and then you'll rise so that the witness may have the opportunity to also rest for some time. No. Please sit down. Yes. We cannot let him undergo cross-examination for continuous, several hours. Yes.
My lords, we understand that. Now, Mr. Metonunu, I trust you are well.
I'm trying very well to respond to the court, but I am quite sick and I'm just getting better slowly.
Now, I believe that it was after the declaration of 9th December and the press release of 10th that the petitioner decided to challenge the declared result. Is that so?
That is not correct. The petitioner sought to have interventions made. The petitioner sought to have interventions made prior to the declaration.
No, you are not listening to my question. So it is after.
I answered your question.
Please,
I answered your question.
Mr. Metonunu. My question was, it was after these two events that you decided to challenge the results in court. That's the question. It should be struck out. They are not an answer to my question. And Mr. Metonunu, let me advise you that you are before the Supreme Court And when I put a question to you, the court expects you to answer the question, not to set up your own question and run around with it. So please listen carefully to my questions and answer them. Now,
My Lord, can I declare? My Lord, can I declare? If I answer a question with an initial statement and I need to throw more light on that answer, am I not permitted to do so?
you are not permitted to run irrelevant commentaries. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now,
But how do you determine irrelevant commentaries?
Now, Mr. Netanyahu, this decision to go to court was after a number of civil society organizations and faith groups and prominent public voices had urged the petitioner to go to court if he did not accept the results of the declared elections. Is that not
I
so?
believe you also
Is that not
that
so?
the petition said you would not accept the fraud results.
You see, you have not answered my question. So please, be respectful of the court and answer my question.
The question again.
I said, the petitioner took the decision to go to court after a number of civil society organizations, faith groups, and prominent public voices had urged him to go to court if he did not accept the results of the declared elections.
That is not correct.
So the petitioner went to court before these calls on it. That's what you are suggesting.
The petitioner went to court on his own volition.
Now, I believe as a person with considerable experience in the former strong room, which is today called the National Coalition Center, you played an important role in the preparation of this petition. Is that right?
That is correct.
Can you tell the court?
Hold on. The question again.
Now, Mr. Netanyahu, can you tell the court exactly when the decision was taken by the petitioner to go to court?
I do not know exactly when the petitioner took the decision to go to court. I do not know exactly when he decided to go to court. I do not know that for a fact.
That the information you gave to the petitioner as to what happened in the strong room certainly contributed to the drafting of some of the paragraphs of the petition. Not so?
Some of the paragraphs
Of the petition. Of the petition. We are in court because of the petition. You had my question, so yes, but you had the question.
Then you come.
Yes,
You come. It's all,
that is what I mean. That is what I mean. You made an input. You, Mr. Yes. And right from the beginning, you were one of the witnesses the petitioner intended to call. Am I correct? Yes. Of course you. Well. So, when did you get to know that the petitioner was interested in calling you as a witness?
The majority was finding out about my health,
Please.
and I cannot recall exactly when they called me, but there was an interaction with the legal team about my health and whether I would be able to do it. But I can't recall exactly when that.
That you have deliberately refused to recall when, because you are seeking to avoid telling the court the truth on this matter, on the subject matter of your witness statement and how it came about.
Can you repeat what I said?
Mr. Matthew, this is surrounding your giving a witness statement in this matter. That's what I'm putting to you.
I'm refusing because I want to add circumstances around my being a witness.
Yes.
You know me for many years. You know me to have a dubious character.
Indeed.
No, do you know me to have a dubious character?
Mr. Matthew,
Please don't answer the questions with the question.
I'm waiting for your answer.
I am not hiding behind any condition of mine. I am not.
Okay. Are we free to address your conditions of health? With your consent, of course. That's what I mean.
Counsel for the petitioner informed us that the witness under oath was not also unwell, and we decided to, come to terms with the situation.
That is so.
That is why we are going through this.
My Lord, that's why I respectfully, my Lord, if I may.
So let's keep this. Let's keep this.
If I may be please be heard. The petitioner in a letter dated 3rd February 2021 states that I am waiving my right to privacy so that all my testimony is in public. And I want to know whether that waiver covers the conditions of his health. I want to understand. If it covers, if it doesn't, I don't have a problem. But if it does, then I'll be able, I can deal with that matter.
She wouldn't mind if it is a live telecast. That is my understanding.
Very well.
Yeah, I'm wrong. So please, let's avoid this.
Very well, my lord. Now, can you tell the court on 3rd February where you were? 3rd February 2021, where you were?
3rd February.
Yes. 20.
I went for a medical review.
So where were you coming from to the medical review? That's what I mean.
That is the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Mr. Metonunu, I'm asking, where did you come from to go to Kolebu? Where did you come from?
Where did I come from?
Yes.
I came from home.
Good. So, can you tell the court, how long have you been living at home since your condition?
Which specific medical condition are you referring to? Because I have several health challenges.
Very well. So, on the 4th of February 2021, I believe you were still at your personal residence.
Mr. Ampao, where is this leading to? Is it really necessary? Is it directed at something? Where is this leading to?
Yeah. How questions are framed, the answers to it, so that we can, have an informed opinion about it.
My lords, we are seeking to demonstrate to the court that the explanation given for this regulated witness statement is a ruse. That's what we are seeking to do. I'm not disputing that, my lord. Now, very well, my lord. Now, I believe that from the beginning of February, you had access to the media, radio, TV, online streaming, didn't you?
I had access to
The media. You could listen to radio, you could watch TV, you should go online.
that is not entirely true. I needed to renew my DSTV license, and so I didn't have access to that one.
So, I'm furthermore putting it to you that you did listen to radio.
No, I do not listen to radio.
Good. So are you suggesting to this court that you had no interest in what was going on in this petition?
That is not correct. The fact that I don't watch television or listen to radio doesn't mean I'm not interested in the proceedings.
No, so you agree that you are interested in what was going on in the proceedings here?
Absolutely. As a representative of the petitioner, in the strong room. I'm interested in the proceedings. I'm interested, very, very interested.
So you heard the proceedings as they unfolded in this court?
Some of them, not all, some of them.
Mr. Abudempo,
Yes, my lord.
what is the position of the law? Assuming even he sat here.
Yes.
And heard the evidence.
Yes.
Does it disqualify him?
At all, but please, my lord, but it enables the court to take note of that it was a witness that had heard the proceedings before testifying. That is the important thing. That is the very important thing I'm trying to drive at. And we all know that this is a matter that the court will and must take into consideration. The witness that sits in court hears the proceedings and then comes to give evidence. Now, I want you to explain to this court how come your original witness statement of truth referred to paragraphs 1 to 22.
Mr. Gutempa, we've gone beyond that. You see, the permission was sought for amendment, and we accordingly granted it.
Yes, I'm
You see, you are a veteran in this job. Do you allow your witnesses to prepare this statement of truth? No, I'm asking you as a lawyer of some standing.
Yes.
Do you prepare this statement or you allow the witnesses to prepare?
My lord, the last time
answer that
we don't, but I make sure the witness reads what we prepared.
But petty errors may occur, and they occur on a regular basis. That is why we allowed this amendment to be granted. So we've gone beyond that.
My lords, I'm most grateful that the court recognizes the occurrence of petty errors. Now, you said in paragraph 8 of your witness statement that, quote, Dr. Professor White and I on many occasions pointed out errors in figures and words on the sheets that were brought, which ultimately affected totals and assigned results. Now, when the petitioner filed his petition, the only problems he complained about were the complaints in his Exhibit B attached to the petition, the alleged padding complained of in Exhibit F, exhibits and his exhibit, I believe, E.
How can the witness have access to the pleadings?
Well, the witness,
He said he gave information for the preparation. That was what I understood him. But looking at the pleading, how many witnesses would have access to the pleadings settled by counsel?
my lord,
No, in fairness to the witness.
my lord, the witness had not said he is
No, but you see,
to answer this question.
well, go on.
My Lord,
Excuse me, is to also protect every witness who comes to testify. Yes.
my Lord, indeed, the witness has made clear that he had an input, but he does not know the details of what the lawyers did. I think he gave an answer to that effect. And this question is referring to exhibits and so on in the pleadings. And I do not think that it's appropriate for the witness to be asked questions in relation to a petition. If he wants me to go into the witness box to answer questions about how the pleadings were made, we can determine whether
I take very serious objection to this snide remark. No, I take very serious objection to it.
My Lord, I will avoid something and I take that back. I take that back. But my Lord,
Now, you know that the original secretary in Ashanti clearly indicated that they had no problems with Ashanti region results, but rather rejoiced at the results. Don't you? The region, but rather he rejoiced at the results.
I am not aware that the regional secretary for Ashanti has made any such statement. I'm not aware.
But you are again aware. You are present at the Regional Coalition Center at Ashanti.
I said I'm not aware. So how can I be again aware? I said I'm not aware.
He's asking another question. So please don't lose focus. Yes, listen. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He's asking another question.
You are again aware that present at the Regional Coalition Center of Ashanti were stalwarts of your party, including Mrs. Betty Mould Idrisu. Also,
I knew she was in Ashanti region, but I didn't know she was present at that particular time in the regional whatever coalition center. I have no knowledge of that.
and I'm putting it to you that she did not complain about the figures of Ashanti.
I am not aware of that. I am not. And she was not the returning officer. Sorry, she was not the representative of the region in that regard.
Now, I'm furthermore putting it to you that complaints that the petitioner has in respect of Ashanti region related to only 4 constituencies. I'm putting it to you.
That is not correct.
And I'm furthermore putting it to you that the numbers involved were a mere 534 votes. A mere 534 votes.
That again is not correct.
And furthermore put it to you that this number had no material effect on the overall outcome of the presidential election.
To start with, I don't know where you're getting these figures from. And I have no way of confirming that the figures and the source of the data is correct. I have no idea where you're getting these figures from.
Now, one of your complaints in your witness statement relates to the Eastern Region summary sheet. Is that not correct?
That is correct.
Now, you will notice that your complaint was that there were 2 summary sheets, one signed by the NDC and other agents of the other candidates, and the other, those signed by agents of some of the other candidates, was not signed by NDC.
Yes, there were 2 summary sheets presented. Two summary sheets presented. One was signed by the NDC and the other was not signed. That is correct.
Now, I'm putting it to you that the fact that the other summary sheet was not signed by the NDC does not prevent the chair of the EC to rely on it, provided they were signed by other parties.
Is it not a question of law?
Well, but he makes a case out of it. That is the point. So,
now my lords, if I may, that exactly is the issue that we were raising. That on many occasions, the EC committed the resubmission.
Intervened to expunge the question. So there's no question now. So listen to counsel.
And there's no question to be answered.
Yeah, you come back to you.
I'm sorry, my lord. I'm sorry.
Don't worry.
I'm extremely sorry.
Now, in paragraph 10 of your witness statement, you claim that the EC officials were applying double standards, correcting signed summary sheets from the regions on occasion, while refusing to correct others on the ground that the agents or the candidate had signed. Is that not it?
That is absolute point I'm making. Yes, that's the point I'm making in my statement.
Yes, I'm putting it to you that Dr. Pesalat, who was with you at the National Coalition Center, made no such reference in his witness statement.
So I don't really know what he said in his witness statement, but in my candid opinion, In fact, I was watching the fax machines. And on many occasions, the fax machines were not attended to because no faxes were coming. And then suddenly you see something coming, and then you have to...
Please, Mr. Kujobeto, no. At times you talk too much. Mr. Kuchampa.
Yes, my lord.
I'm very sorry. I'm a politician and a former lecturer. That's why I'm like that. I'm sorry.
Let me remind you, you are in a courtroom. So please mind the way you answer the questions. Mr. Kuchampa, if two persons witness the same incident and you ask them to narrate what they witnessed, they come with different stories. Natural, you see, natural. So the fact that one witness did not make mention of something, it doesn't mean another witness will make mention of the other thing.
Yes, my lord.
You understand it?
That is generally true. But where the matter is...
Also, it should be presumed that he doesn't have access to the witness statement of
Yes, but my lord, I'm putting it to him. So if he says he doesn't know, it's on record that he doesn't know. That's what I mean.
But the question with no respect to me, a legitimate one.
Now, in any event, from your long experience since 1992 in the then strong room, now National Coalition Center, you know that even there, agents of candidates disagree with the figure. The EC may go ahead and use the results to declare the elections. You know that from your experience.
That is not always the case.
Good.
In most cases, depending on who the returning officer is, you were given an opportunity for correction before the final declaration. In this particular instance, the EC chair is not following best practices.
You see, I'm putting it to you that the agents of the parties cannot compel the EC to do their will.
The agents of the parties cannot compel the EC. That's correct. But that is why in the past we had an iPad. The iPad provided an opportunity for further stakeholder dialogue.
Now, we claim in paragraph 19 of your witness statement that you made a mistake when you signed the summary sheet in the strong room. Is that not so?
That is correct.
I'm putting it to you that whether or not you made a mistake, the EC was entitled to process that summary sheet.
That was not always.
Is this not a matter of law?
My lord, that was not always the case.
Oh, Mr. Metununu, please. Yeah.
I think there's a time lag.
Yes, I know. There's a problem. Some few seconds can. Yes, but I thought that it is covered by the CI.
What is covered by?
No question.
Yes.
It is covered by the CI.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. You see.
Excuse me. witness, I'm relying on his experience. And my point is, the point I'm making.
And what his experience teaches us is the regulations in the CI. Yes, that is what we understand from the bench.
In other words, his experience surpassed
The CI.
this CI.
Everything is in the.
We are guided by this.
Very well. Now, we refer in paragraph 17 of your witness statement to a difference of 1,707 votes between the original summary sheet presented to you in the strong room, the one published on the EC's website. Now, I'm putting it to you that 1,707 votes, even if true, do not have any material effect on the final outcome of the elections.
My Lord, that is not correct. The electoral commissioner has not accounted, she has not accounted for the votes and how they were tabulated. She has not. A little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. So she has not established the true number of votes cast and all that. She hasn't.
Now, you refer to Western North summary sheet in your petition, your witness statement.
Western North, that's correct.
And claim that the petitioner's agent refused to sign. That not so.
And claim that the petitioner did what?
The agent at the regional center did not sign.
Yeah, did not sign.
But you signed.
That is correct.
Good. Now, just for the education of the court and myself, what exactly was the information you were taking to former President Mahama, the petitioner? I'm not saying what message the EC chair gave you, but the substantive information you were taking to President Mahama, former President Mahama. What was that?
The specific message that was directed then.
Mr. Metonunu, I'm not asking you the message that anybody gave you. I'm saying what was the information that you were going to give to President Mahama on that day?
The information I was going to give related to anomalies that we had detected in the processing of summary sheets from the regions and how the collation process was taking place in the strong room. Anomalies in mathematics, anomalies in words, anomalies in totals and tallies. Yes, those are the issues.
So I'm suggesting to you that the EC chairperson could still have gone ahead with the processes of declaration, whether or not you sent any message or information to President Mahama about any anomalies.
My Lord, again, I think this is a question of law. I mean, it's clear.
Mr. Kutapa.
Yes.
All right.